This video is brought to you by TS4U IT Engineering Bootcamp.
Actually, I have a very generic question, you can say the silly question, but just to see your approach of taking the things, how you do things. So we have a client. Bunch of clients, they have been actually complaining they're not able to get the information from the browser, and they're using the different browser. And we got the ticket, and the ticket we see the request is coming. So we are unable to actually respond to the ticket because we can see the particular client with the data. The ticket has all the data. We can see all the data, but customer is complaining they are not able to see it. So my question is, can you just walk me through how the internet works actually? What does it do actually, basically? From all the way from the browser or the mobile app to all the way the back end. Sorry, it's maybe a little silly question, but we had the same issues here. So just
Okay, so I think we basically have this kind of issues that relates to some of the ISPs. They just like blocks random websites or block some random IP addresses for a particular reason, and then the client is not able to access a specific system. So we had this kind of issues. So whenever we saw that, okay, from our side we are good, then from our tier 1 support, they actually what they do is they goes to an AnyDesk or TeamViewer session with that specific client, and they try to fix that issue within their system. So whenever they're connected to the AnyDesk, they basically try to ping our servers from their computer, and then they basically goes to the browser and see if there are any DNS responses from our side. So technically, it always starts with the DNS level that, okay, the ISP actually blocks our IP addresses, and that's why client is not able to access can resolve our DNS servers and everything. So that is the first thing. And another issue that I saw is issues with the certificates. So sometimes our SSL certificates are not recognized on their browsers because they use unusual browser, or they use a very old version of the browser, and then they don't update the browsers frequently. So for that reason, our SSL certificate actually fails. Okay, so these are the issues, and this is how we usually fix it. And since how we know that this is the ISP, because whenever a client actually tries to access our services, they first goes through our DNS servers, right? They actually types in our domain name, and then the request goes through our DNS. So as our DNS, we use the Cloudflare and sometimes the AWS DNS. So if the client is getting blocked from the DNS, it's mostly because of the ISP, because the clients or requests are going through the ISP first, and from their gateway, the request is going through, let's say, BGP or an IGW, and then from the IGW, it goes to the public internet. So if the client is not even able to access our DNS server, it means it's basically their ISP, because we can reach to our ISP and we can reach to our DNS server, but they're not. So it's definitely should be their ISP, and if the ISP is not blocking them, they will be able to reach to our DNS server. Browser will be able to request to our backend servers using the IP address that it got from the DNS, and then it will basically travel through all the routers and gateways to our servers, and then our server will send it back. So yeah, most of the time it's DNS or the ISP.
thank you.